Yo, this is a heist for the Warriors. Reports are flying that the Warriors are the favorites to land Minnesota Timberwolves center Naz Reid after some massive news dropped today about his future in Minnesota. But can Mike Dunleavy actually work some salary cap magic to bring in the guy who helped knock the Warriors out of the playoffs? Well, in today's video, I'll break down the new reports as we now have some major insight on what it'll take to bring in the stretch big that many Warriors fans have been dreaming of and the impact all this could have on the Warriors' salary cap dilemma and their title chances. First, though, I need you to hit subscribe. I'm Arthur Ballesteros. This is Warriors Digest. We bring you daily videos breaking down everything going on with the Golden State Warriors. And if you're part of that percentage who watches our videos on a regular basis, but you haven't subscribed, hit the button. It helps the channel a lot, and you get notified when new things drop so that we can discuss things like this. Warriors are the odds-on favorite to land former Sixth Man of the Year, Naz Reid. Now, this comes as the Las Vegas and online sports booking community has now put the Warriors' odds at plus 175 to land Naz Reid after some major news dropped today. Basically, those odds break down to Vegas is saying that the Warriors have about a 36% chance of signing Naz Reid if he goes into free agency. And we got a major update today from Jake Fisher indicating that he is going to enter free agency. Jake Fisher writes for Bleacher Report. He works with Mark Stein as well. He's a major NBA insider who's very tapped in. He's saying that his sources are saying that people are expecting that Naz Reid is going to decline his player option and enter free agency. Now, we know Minnesota has a major salary cap dilemma on their hands, even bigger than the Warriors have right now, as they've got Julius Randle, who we saw cook the Warriors in the playoffs, wearing his Skechers, doing his little shimmy. He's got his $31 million player option. The Timberwolves are absolutely going to find some way to work out bringing him back. He's a major part of their plans. But Naz Reid has a $15 million player option that now sources are saying he's going to decline. There was a lot of speculation about it. Now we're getting a little bit more concrete reporting coming out that he is going to decline that, enter free agency, because he wants to be a starter. And there's a log jam in Minnesota. He's not going to get starters minutes with Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert there. So he's going to look elsewhere because, I mean, the dude is a baller. He averaged 14 points a game, 6 boards off the bench in only about 25 minutes, shooting his threes at about 38%. Standing at 6'9", he does have a 7'3" wingspan, so it does allow him to actually provide some sort of rim protection, although not the elite defensive presence that a lot of Warriors fans have been looking for. But his skill set and style fit perfectly into the Warriors system. I mean, he would be a dream big for Steve Kerr and for a lot of people, although he doesn't necessarily address those major concerns when it comes to interior defense. As we look at his scouting report here, he does get high grades on rim protection. He did get about a block a game in those 25 minutes per game last year, but just not known for his defense. He's known for his scoring ability and being a stretch big. He can defend pretty much 5-1. How well he defends those different positions, though, is kind of up for debate there. But he is a guy who he does have some size at only being 6'9" for a center. He is about 265. He does have some muscle. He does have a great rebounding ability, as you see some of his scouting report grades there. He did average about 10 boards when he was getting starters minutes for Minnesota. He started about 17 games last year, scored 18 points, 10 boards. So he can rebound. It's not at the highest rate. He can defend bigs. It's not the best, but he's not there for those things. He's there for his shooting, where you see he gets off the mark or off the chart marks here for his outside shooting for a big man. Really great on those catch and shoot threes. And we saw it in the playoffs. I mean, he was killing the Warriors in a number of games with his outside shooting, and he's been a Warriors killer throughout his career. So, of course, you would love to see him come onto the Warriors. But at what price here? The Warriors, there's basically no way that they can just sign him outright to a deal that he wants. He's been rumored to not only want starters minutes, but he's going to command about $100 million contract, or the rumors that he's going to be seeking here. Now, it could be a 4-year deal, $25 million, but some people are even estimating that he could double his salary from last year and command about a $30 million price tag. Obviously, no way the Warriors can just outright sign him. The only team with that kind of cap space right now are the Nets. And so, how would the Warriors make this work? Well, there's been a little bit of chatter about how they could use their mid level exception to give him a flyer for 1 year, where, maybe there's a scenario where Naz Reid wants to prove that he can be a starter, play on a competitive team fighting for a championship, and then get that next big contract next year following that. There's some chatter around that. There's just zero chance that happens. The risk on Naz Reid for that and the risk of injury is just insane. No way that happens. So how could the Warriors work this? Well, sign and trade. A lot of the scenarios that we're looking at with Jonathan Kuminga in terms of how we can get something in return for a guy who we probably can't afford, doesn't fit the system, doesn't want to be here. A lot of those same scenarios could play out with Naz Reid, as he is also a birds right player. It is going to be really complicated for sign and trades again, as he's only going to count for the Timberwolves for about 50% of his salary when they're trading him because of those birds right status. Now, because of the new CBA, that's just the way the sign and trades work. So it's going to be a lot harder to match up the money. One of the things being floated around right now is some sort of package the Warriors put together with Buddy Hield and some other filler to make the cap things work in order to get that done. No, this is not happening. I don't know where this rumor came from, but there is no way that Minnesota does a deal like this. And I know that the Warriors and the Wolves do have a long history of working trades out. We saw with the Andrew Wiggins trade that happened a few years ago. They have done it before, but I think that it's much less likely that something happens like this now that both are kind of competing for the Western Conference title here. I don't necessarily see something like that happening, but crazier things have happened. But despite Vegas saying the Warriors are the odds-on favorite, I don't see any way that they make this work here. His contract situation, if this was last year, sure. That his $13 million that he made last year was a lot easier to make something work there in terms of the trade. But the Timberwolves are high on Naz Reid, and I feel like they're going to find some sort of way to make this work. If you remember, part of the reason why they traded Karl Anthony Towns away for Julius Randle was because they wanted to have more flexibility in order to re-sign Naz Reid. We know that they want to. Can they do it? That's another question, because they are completely limited here. But is there a scenario here where the two teams could do a double sign and trade here? Looking at this here, I kind of put this together because maybe something like this works, where the Warriors sign and trade Kuminga, the Timberwolves sign and trade Naz Reid. They do it for each other. It's still not going to match up, even if they both got signed to the same exact salaries. It's not going to fully match up salary cap wise for matching purposes. So whatever happens, it's going to be extremely complicated to bring Naz Reid in, but he is a guy who would fit the system, but I just don't think that it's worth it at all. That price tag is just crazy for a guy who's still going to be in his prime when Steph Curry retires, when Draymond retires, when that championship window closes in a couple of years after everybody's deals expire. We know Curry, Dre, and Jimmy Butler all expiring in 2 years. So then you've still got Naz Reid locked in, and he doesn't fit a rebuilding team whatsoever. I just don't think that the Warriors do this. It's not worth it to them in terms of being locked in for that kind of money or having to give up major assets in order to get him. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know how Vegas has landed on the Warriors being the favorites. We're seeing a lot of chatter that the Detroit Pistons are going to be extremely aggressive with trying to get him. That makes more sense. They've got a lot more flexibility when it comes to the salary cap. They've got more tradable assets as well that Minnesota could be interested in. Why would Minnesota want to bring in JK when he just hamstrings their salary cap the same way keeping Naz Reid would? None of it makes sense right now. This is the kooky part of the season that happens here, where all sorts of rumors start flying, all sorts of speculation. but when you boil it down to the numbers, a lot of it just doesn't make sense. But when there is a will, there's a way, and so maybe Mike Dunleavy can find something really creative. Now, this obviously also doesn't take into account 3-team deals. A lot of that complexity could be absorbed by adding different teams into the mix here to make something work. You tell me what you think is going to happen here. Do you think the Warriors can legit land Naz Reid? I say no. Maybe you disagree. Do you think the Warriors should even be considering him? Does he fit into the system here? You let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.